Well, hey everybody, I'm the Crockett Coon'er, and this is the Crockett Coonhound Show. Here it is, January the 16th, 2025. I got it right this time, guys. Must be getting old. I called it 24, and here we are in 25. But you have made it to the Fireside Chats with the old Coon'er, and I got another good video coming for you guys tonight. So tonight, guys, I'm going to talk a little something special. Tell you guys a little story about something. And I'm going to talk about the Native Americans here in America. I am. And something that myself and Scooter had happened to us. So I'm going to tell you guys about it. Now, for those of you that follow us elsewhere on the internet, you know that we have many different websites. And Scooter's a professional photographer. And we go around, guys. We do all kinds of things. And here where we are located in southern Middle Tennessee, through one of our state parks, they did in fact find out that the Trail of Tears passed through one of our state parks. Now, myself and Scooter, we can't miss that. We went out. We had a lot of folks come, mainly folks that are Cherokee Indian had showed up. They were, in fact, a lot of them came from out west back. A lot of folks came from over in the Carolinas down and everything for this event. And they opened up a trail. And then the lady that's located here locally, sadly, she passed away. And once again, a lot of the folks that are American Indians that were of the Cherokees came, and they had a ceremony there at the state park, and myself and Scooter were in attendance. Now, I know it's one of the big things, guys. A lot of people say, well, I've got Native American heritage. Well, the old Coon'er here does, guys, and I have photographic proof of it. I've also did the whole online DNA test thing about 3 times in my life, and it mentions that. I'm apparently related to everyone throughout the world, but that's a whole different story. But what I'm going to talk about tonight is something that myself and Scooter have talked about there in the mornings in some of the business meetings that we have at our business here online. And tell you guys a little bit about this. Now, fellas, everybody, ladies, gentlemen, we went to a powwow one time. It's a kind of a county or so over from where we're located. They had a powwow there, and a lot of folks came. And I never knew this because I'm not really that in touch with that part of my ancestry, okay? I've always found it quite interesting. But we did, in fact, go to this powwow. We had the cameras and things out. A fella comes up, he's the head man in charge, and he said, listen, you guys can't film that right there until after the first part of the ceremonies. We have, in fact, blessed this ground. And that is something sacred to the American Indians once they do that. And we said, hey, buddy, you tell us. We respect all your wishes here. And we made friends with this man. He's also American Indian, and he's a good fellow. And he said, yes, we don't allow filming there at first when we bless the ground. And I said, all right. And they had some great ceremonies and things. There were people in traditional dance and quite a few things going on there, right? And we learned a whole lot that day, myself and Scooter, more about our Native American relatives, neighbors, everybody, right? Especially from the Cherokee tribes. And guys, shortly after, like I said, the lady here where we're located that did in fact find out, they did the research and all, the Trail of Tears did pass through where we're located. They had a ceremony there for her when she passed away, guys, and myself and Scooter went out there, and it was a good ceremony. It was. But ever since, the gentleman that I've actually became friends with him said, you guys can't film this area yet. We blessed it. Something about that, guys, just kind of rang in my head. Kind of rang in Scooter's head too. And we started really diving into that. All right. And it's, I guess you would say, spacey as it sounds, guys. Here, where we're located, where they did in fact have the ceremony for the lady that passed away, that found out, our historian, you know, when everybody showed up, all those folks, I would say at least 3/4 of them are in fact Native American, or of ancestry that is Native American. You know, it's not hard to tell there. Most of them were Cherokee. And, you know, it just kept ringing in my head. They blessed that ground. They blessed that ground. And where we had it was close thereby where they said the Trail of Tears came through. We have a whole trail at a park here where I live, and it is dedicated to that. And there's placards out there and everything. But the odd thing about this, guys, myself and Scooter, now for those of you that have followed us, you know, I have another video. I won't get into it, but just go check it out, because Scooter did in fact see what he believed was a Sasquatch. And he said for years to me, no, man, there's no such thing. You know, and I'd said, listen, I think I saw something, but I know I heard something. And the odd thing about it is, guys, if you follow us, you know I mentioned that he had brought his daughter to a playground. Well, there's pavilions and things there, and that's where they did in fact have the remembrance ceremony for our historian that found out that the Trail of Tears went through that area. And I was speaking with a gentleman from there, right? That time we were at the ceremony, and it was basically kind of like a wake in a way. And I had mentioned to him, you know, that this place, every time I'd been there since I was a kid, this place has been around for years. It was a park, it still is, but there's a playground there close by and things. As a child, I went out there and played, and it just always had a special feeling to it at that area. And I mentioned that to Scooter one morning in a business meeting, guys. And he said, you know, it has for me too. And now that I've seen that while we were out there playing, he said, I think there's something more to it. And I have to agree, guys. Well, you know, I don't think that everyone, when you say that it must be a special area, they don't quite understand what that means, guys. And I didn't until Scooter had his incident there, his sighting, and until it's like something in my head clicked. You know, the Trail of Tears passed through there. And one time we were, in fact, guys, at a thing for David Crockett, right? We had have a celebration for him here. They do in quite a few places in Tennessee. But I was speaking with a bunch of fellows, and one of them happened to be from over at North Carolina. And he was, in fact, a Cherokee Indian. And I said, listen, I heard something one time in the woods, guys, and I believe it was a Sasquatch. And I'd spoken with this gentleman for a good 20, 30 minutes. We were talking about hunting dogs, and he had some hunting dogs. And he stopped and looked at me, no joking, in this man's face, and he said, you think it was just the one of them? Lucky you saw just the one, or heard just the one. And just something about all that, guys, just kind of rang true in my head. And that is kind of why I'm making this particular fireside chat tonight. Guys, you know, never could put my finger on it. Scooter couldn't put his finger on it. But that particular area, it holds something special there. I don't really know how to explain that to you folks that follow me. And yes, the Trail of Tears did pass through there. There was a lot of Native American heritage in our area. A lot of folks came through this way. You know, and I'm not saying that was a good time. It wasn't. But, you know, there's something special about that ground, guys. And myself and Scooter both recognize it. And it's funny that other people don't. We've talked about this many times in a business meeting there at the end when we were done. And that's why I wanted to share it with all of our followers. I know how spacey it sounds. But I'm pretty sure there's a few of you folks out there that follow us that's going to be like, we understand what you mean, Coon'er. We do. I don't know, guys. And the odd thing about it, another little side story here. Years ago, guys, when I was a young fellow, I had an old pickup truck I'd restored. You can imagine, I was about 17. And I went out, had the day off work. It was a summer day, out of school, beautiful day. And guys, I was just going to go ride through the park. Just going to ride through. Done it billions of times in my life. Love it. Love the outdoors. That's what our page is all about. And I pulled up there to this particular area. This is way before Scooter ever had a sighting or I ever heard anything. And I was standing there. I got out and I walked up beside this pavilion, guys, just seeing if people were going to be around. And nobody was there. It was just vacant. Just vacant, guys. And it's probably because it was like Tuesday at 11 o'clock, right? And all of a sudden, I hear a young lady walk around the thing. She looks right at me, and she goes, "Hey." And I knew her, and she knew me. And hadn't seen her in years. Her family, years before, had moved away. Now, keep in mind, this is all the same spot where Scooter had his sighting, where the Trail of Tears passed through there. Basically, it's up on a hill above it. Like I said, everybody had a good feeling there. Good feeling. And I saw this young lady, and she was asking me about how everything was going. Of course, the last time I had seen her, I was a young child. I was about 10 or 11, and now here I am about 17 or 18, and she's telling me that she had come back and everything, and all of this kind of stuff. But the odd part about this, guys, tell you the odd part. I was speaking with her. I said, "Hey, let's go sit right here on some of these tables." And we sat down there. We were talking. And she sat next to me. And I didn't notice it at first, guys. I didn't. I'm about to get into something. But I noticed by looking at her, and you got to keep in mind, this would probably have been 95, 96-ish, right? About 1996, right in there. I noticed what she had on looked a bit dated. A bit. Earlier 90s, right? It was just like shorts, but she had the legs of them rolled up, And she sat right beside me talking to me, and I thought nothing of it. It was nice. Hey, a person that went to elementary school with me, and didn't think any more of it, guys. And as it went on, she spoke with me, and she reached over and touched me on the arm. Now, guys, you've got to remember, here we are in southern Middle Tennessee in the middle of the summer. It was about July-ish, right? It's hot, very hot. I mean, it's like standing in a sauna hot, right? But when this young lady touched me, she was extremely cold. Cold, right? And I looked at her, and she quickly moved her hand from me, and she said, "Oh, I'm sorry." I said, "Wow. You're cold. How can you be cold out here? It's hot." And she just smiled. I didn't think much of it, guys. And sure enough, I got up there. And, as a young fella, I'm in good shape, folks. I am. And I'm walking, and she's walking, talking with me. And I kind of went around the edge of a pavilion. It's just got sides on it, you see, and banisters there in the middle. It doesn't have four walls, just two, basically. Picnic tables under this thing. And the walls are solid, and I turned behind me because she was behind me, and I said, "Hey." She was gone. I thought, oh, well, she's run off, right? Young man, you know what I mean. And as I turned back around, now she's standing in front of me, and she started back talking, and I was like, "Hey, how'd you do that?" Because, see, to go around the wall that quickly, she must have just took off running when I walked up there. But just quickly, and she's not out of breath or anything. She's just right in front of me, right? And she said, "Oh, I just went around the other way." Oh, okay. And kept talking with her, and I'd ask her, I said, what are you doing back? And she said, "Well, I had a few family incidences and things. I don't remember. I think somebody in her family had passed away, and she'd moved to the West Coast years before." Now, guys, the strange part of this story I spoke with her there for a minute, and I talked with her, and I said, well, I better get going. And she said, yeah, me too. And I said, where did you come from? Because there wasn't any more cars. There's only one road in front of this thing. She said, oh, I came from the other side of the road, where you would basically walk a good 150 yards, go across a road, walk about another 75, and there's another campground over there and things, and another playground and stuff. I said, oh, okay. And she said, yeah, my mom and all of them's over there. Okay. And guys, I said, well, I'll see you later. It was good seeing you, right? And I turned around and I started walking down kind of an incline to my old pickup truck. And it was weird. All of a sudden, I got this like light wind. And here it is, middle of July. You know, the nice cool breeze, guys. And I turned around and I looked back. You know, as a young fellow would do. Hey, here's this beautiful young lady been speaking with me. And she wasn't there. I thought, oh, well, she's walked, back over to see her parents. And, I got in my truck, guys, and I started my old truck up, and I pulled up a little bit, because in my mind somewhere, guys, it just went, hold on, something's not right here. Something's not right. Something's wrong. But I just spoke with this lady, and I pulled up a little bit, and I started looking. I could see I pulled up there, where the pavilion would be behind me, and I looked and I didn't see her, and I tried to look because it's just an open spot through there. And I tried to look, see if I could see her walking across. Maybe she got ahead of me really quick. Maybe she ran, and across the road. Well, guys, I looked over on the other side of the road. You could just see it's very just scattered trees right there. You get a good clear view at this other campground over there and playground and things. And there wasn't a car one over there. Now, I'm not really sure what happened there, guys. I'm not. And I know that there's the reasonable explanations. Maybe as I was going to the truck, somebody had pulled this way and she went down and got in the car and just missed it all. Or, I don't believe there's any bathrooms right there, especially not back in like 96 in that area. So, maybe one of those she did, or maybe she hid until I drove off or something, wanted to see my truck. You know how it is when you're a young fella. But I don't know. I don't think so, guys. And ever since myself and Scooter, we went to that powwow, a gentleman told us, he said, listen, we bless this ground. It's sacred now. You can't film it yet while we have the opening ceremonies, but then after that you can. And we respected his wishes, guys. And the particular area where I spoke with this young lady is where Scooter had his sighting. And like I said, the Trail of Tears went through there. And now, after all that stuff, guys, as spacey as that sounds, right? Myself and Scooter have come to the conclusion we believe there's something there. Something special about that area. Something that could be good or could be bad. And I don't really want to put my finger on it because I don't know what it is. I don't. But, I would think that there is, in fact, there were some bad times there as people passed through. I think there's been a lot of good times held there, guys. Children playing there on the playground and things. But, as I was driving back that day, I left the park. I never even went on through it. It's a big scenic park. I was driving, and I remember thinking how nice it was to see this young lady, And I hadn't seen her since I was about, like I said, 10 or 11, and here I am about 17, 18, and, hey, we're pretty young, we're mature now and older and things. But, the more I thought about it, I was like, did that even really look like her? Maybe so. Don't know, guys. But I remember thinking how beautiful of a girl she was, but how strange it was when she grabbed me on the arm, and it was cold in the middle of summertime. I don't know. But it was an interesting experience, guys. and I don't know if there's really a point to it other than myself and Scooter both decided that that particular area is in fact some form of a special place, good and bad. But anyways, I just wanted to share that for all my viewers. I usually don't make a lot of content like that, guys. I don't. It's more just outdoor activities, but all this happened outdoors, I have to admit. But wanted to share it, wanted to definitely represent for our Native American folks and everything. I mean, like I said, I do know for a certainty that I have Native American heritage, Cherokee, by the way. But, I believe there's things that folks, doesn't matter what race you are or things, I believe there's things that folks have forgotten throughout time. Their abilities and what certain things mean, especially in the outdoors, and how you need to respect it. But, that could be anything from picking up litter to keeping an area clean. But just wanted to share that, guys, make a small fireside chat while I was out here tonight. But I say it all the time, guys. You guys stay safe on the water, stay safe in the woods, and definitely stay tuned here at the Crockett Coonhound Show. And myself and Scooter have you guys another video dropping shortly. You guys have a great day.